All right, now let's get analysis. We are now joined via Zoom by Willem Els, a senior training coordinator at the Transnational Threats and International Crimes Program at the Institute for Security Studies. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. So what will it take, to bring an end to these attacks that we've been seeing on trucks on a long-term basis? I mean, one imagines the role of the SANDF is only but a short-term solution, Willem.
Good afternoon to you. You are so right. What it will take for us to stop this truck arson? We see that over the past 2 days there have been some arrests of the foot soldiers who actually torched the trucks. But we will have to do much more than that. We will have to gather more intelligence. And apart from the intelligence that is gathered, we will also have to do a much better investigation in order to lead to the kingpins of these operations, because this, we gather, is a very well planned and organized campaign that is on the way, and it is also severely hampering the security of South Africa, as well as the food security. The deployment of the military, obviously it has been welcomed, but we must just understand that the military are soldiers. They are not trained to do investigations, so they will be there to support the South African police. It will also serve as a deterrence in terms of the visibility on the roads. But what we need now is we need to make a very good progress in the investigations in order to arrest the kingpins.
You mentioned two very important things that I'd like us to unpack a little bit, and that's, of course, the arrest of foot soldiers. I mean, we've just seen 3 arrests, and not, of course, the kingpins, as you've mentioned. So are you then suggesting that surveillance, ongoing surveillance from the SAPS will lead us to more arrests, and, of course, important arrests? I mean, 21 trucks burned over a very short period of time. One then questions, the surveillance of the SAPS or any other law enforcement authority, which has been under scrutiny for some time because of, damage to property, damage to infrastructure, especially when you look at some of the routes that have been used. These are key economic hubs.
You're also right. These torching of the trucks didn't start over the weekend. It already started some 5 years ago, and it's been ongoing. Sporadically we had some, and this time around we saw actually a very big surge, where you mentioned also that more than 20 trucks have been torched so far. And the problem that we have is, if we can compare it to the uprising and the riots on 2 years ago, in order to curb that, in order to really bring that to an end and bring closure not only for business but also for the public, is to arrest the kingpins, to bring them to book and to make an example of them. We have to restore the rule of law in the truck industry, because, as you rightly mentioned, it is severely hampering our food security. They are deliberately targeting the routes, like for what you mentioned, the N3. That's known as the gateway to South Africa and to Africa in terms of our ports in Durban. It is providing food security not only for South Africa but also for some of our neighboring countries that are using our ports.
I'd like you, Willem, to weigh in on just some of the drivers that you think are behind these attacks. I mean, we've heard from various stakeholders, some suggesting that, some South African truck drivers are, upset that these trucking companies continue to hire foreign nationals. And this is one of the reasons behind these attacks.
Yes, we need to understand that even though if you are unsatisfied with what is going on, you cannot revert to these type of violence in order to make your grievances known, because this is pure criminality. So, but as you rightly said, that is one of the drivers that have been mentioned. We also know that no single institution has actually accepted accountability for what is happening here. So that makes it very difficult. The police, as you also mentioned, have arrested three foot soldiers. The investigation is ongoing. We just hope that by these arrests, they will now be able to make inroads and gather some more information to lead us to the kingpins. Because if we do not cut off the head of the snake, it will be with us for a very long time.
And as far as the supply chain is concerned, I would imagine there's a lack of confidence in as far as law enforcement authorities are concerned. What impact is this having on just the various stakeholders and role players in this industry?
At the end of the day, especially your drivers are being targeted. So there's a lot of fear within your drivers. So we saw in reports over the past few days where they came to the fore and expressed their fear. We also see that the drivers that have been targeted are not only foreign drivers. We saw that several South African drivers have also been targeted by these people. So nobody is actually safe in a truck where these people are still at the loose. So that is a challenge that you have. And remember one thing, that if you look at your trucks that are being torched, depending on the freight of every truck, it can go up to 10 million rands that it will cost you just the torching of one truck. But that is only where it starts, because now some of the drivers might lose their jobs. Some of the smaller companies might close down. It might have a ripple effect throughout the whole supply chain industry that will also then severely impact our food security. And at the end of the day, it is you and me as a consumer who's going to carry the brunt of that, because it undoubtedly will lead to the rising of prices of our basic foods as well.